I'd say we're close, but I've got nothing better to do. Just before my lunch break. Good job out there. How you holding up? The map Temple was the first ever fan-submitted map, and also the map that has undergone the most remakes at a total of 5. Almost one for every major update. The original version of Temple was originally meant to be based off old Escape the Temple lobbies, before slightly shifting in the favor of the Draco boulders. The original version of Temple was also supposed to have a mechanic where the killer could intentionally jump into the water in order to access a teleporter room, allowing them to respawn at any of the paintings seen throughout the map, though it was never implemented due to how superfluous it really was in practice. The second version of Temple was primarily layout changes, attempting to make it a little less segmented and undivided. Though it wasn't very successful, it was ultimately voted to be remade again. The third version of Temple was outright horrible, being considerably less fun and more tedious to traverse than even version 2. It was ultimately scrapped and remade before it was even released to the public to play on. The fourth version was the one many had played on the longest, not being perfect, but still undergoing some interesting changes and tweaks over the length of time it was around, honing in on the main gimmick of the centered Draco boulder. It was also originally supposed to have a large pixel art mural on the wall near the garden. However, it was cut due to clashing with the general art style of the rest of the map. And finally, the fifth version is the one we have now, ultimately fully reworking the layout it's held onto the longest, choosing to slide the Draco boulder to the side of the map, so it's less intrusive while still giving everyone more playing room that's not dead space in the center of the map. I wonder how long it takes until you get a version 6 of Temple. During playtesting, Harkin used to have an entirely unique projectile before it was replaced with an early version of Tangle, both of which worked entirely different than the current day Tangle. Harkin's original projectile used to be a projectile that ramped up in speed, but also moved wherever your camera was currently looking, even passing through terrain, allowing a skilled player to land some preposterous hits long range. Though it was scrapped early in development due to its absurd skill floor, and being generally not fun to combat if somebody's got good with it. Harkin's early Tangle is very similar to current day, though with one major change. That being any damage dealt to Harkin would instead be given to whoever they were tangled to. As you can imagine, this was not very balanced. Tangle used to expire over time, and the chain didn't shatter since it couldn't start Harkin. The last straw was one of the place testers discovering that any damage also included damage from Evil Scary, letting Harkin get very cheap victories. That magician guy used to be way more troublesome back in the day. All of his abilities used to be very overtuned with Artful, or should I say, Infestant, fortunately joined the stage. While he didn't always have a purpose, Artful's walls and music boxes used to have infinite placements, and on top of that, the walls were entirely indestructible. Any gap could be turned into a dead end. It was bonkers! Thankfully, that era didn't last very long. As shortly before Killtroid was released, Artful was given a light rework to hopefully balance all his strength and make him more reasonable to play against. What do you want me to tell you about the bunker? Sure, I've got time to kill. There's really not much to say about it. Old, a bit run down, but still functional. It's home by all means. If you're new here, feel free to check out the gardens and the arcade. It's easy free sources of entertainment for people like you. Then, there's cafeteria, of course. The food's good, more or less. Just hope you don't find any of Muffhouse's fare in it. Let's see. What else? Well, there's a basement down the hallway and a few flight of stairs. It's got a pool table, but otherwise it's just storage. Mine is the outdated sandbox unit. I've been meaning to salvage it for parts, but I've never gotten around to it. If you feel like it, you could get something out of it, but by all means, feel free. That's about it, really. If there's anything I didn't mention, feel free to go exploring and find it yourself. Variety is one of your best options for facing against killjoys. Many defensive civilians, such as Block and Hot Dog, are integral for absorbing damage for other civilians, such as protecting caretakers or revolvers. Just be mindful of the splash zone from the rockets. Other civilians can also intentionally grab the attention of killbots or forcibly take the attention of killjoys' auto-aim while flying, giving others a little window to catch their breath. One of Artful's greatest strengths is being able to isolate and trap civilians that stray away from the main group. His two buildings, those being his walls and music box, do that just perfectly. The walls he creates are, well, walls. They can be used to entirely cut off routes or delay your escape by a significant amount of time. Likewise, his music boxes slow down anyone in the range, but can only hit one person at a time. If a punch or revolver civilian happens to be near, you can get them to punch or shoot the trap in order to lower its total lifetime. Badware's bullet is very damaging depending on how many computers they have set up already, especially since Badware can charge up infinitely if it's within the range of a computer. Be advised, getting hit while Badware is within range of one of its computers can be incredibly devastating. The extra boost Badware gets allows it to pick you up and toss you like a ragdoll, which hurts especially if you're tossed into one of its computers. So, while Badware is charging, its stamina will be rapidly decreasing. If you can evade it out for a long period of time, and Badware eventually gets exhausted or crashes, it will need to take an extended rest before being able to give chase again. Pursuer's howl is quite intimidating from what I heard. Just hearing it is enough to send you into a paralyzed state. Researchers have found that it seems to spread outwards in a cone as it travels, getting wider and faster the longer it progresses forwards. Though, depending on where you are when they begin howling, evading to either side could allow you to get out of its range and get a lead away from Pursuer. Harkin can easily steamroll individual civilians while enraged, though with allies this threat becomes a lot more manageable, especially if you play aggressively against her. Harkin's low natural health makes it so any amount of stunts can be enough to make her reconsider playing aggressively. That tied with a good amount of abilities that hold Harkin in place give civilians plentiful chances to get damage here and there. However, it's also wise to keep your distance from Harkin whenever possible, ensuring that you don't allow Harkin to get any easy energy towards going enraged.